Celebrating the connection with our pets. This is Animal Radio, featuring veterinarian Dr. Debbie White, groomer Joey Villani, news director Lori Brooks. And now, from the Red Barn Studios, here are your hosts, Hal Abrams and Judy Francis.
As we begin October, wow. I don't know, is it just me? I'm getting older. It just seems like we just went to the pumpkin patch a few months ago.
I know. I can't believe it's been a year already.
I know.
Where did the time go?
I know. Well, Robert Semrow today, he's going to talk about 5 October pet holidays. 5 holidays that are pet holidays in October. I can't imagine because I guess Halloween, you can dress up the dogs. Some of them like that. Ladybug likes that. You get Ladybug all gussied up every year, don't you?
Yeah, my cat likes it too.
Of course, then it freaks out some animals too. And on the show, it looks like you've booked somebody who makes a wine for cats and dogs, or just cats.
This is for cats, yes.
Just sort of a cat-centric show today we have.
But we do a lot of dogs, so I thought it was only fair that we bring in some cat stuff today.
I believe Lori reported about this a couple of weeks ago, the makers of the wines MosCAto and Pinot Meow. And
yes.
So I guess we're going to have them on today. So we're very
I
excited
wanted to learn
about that.
more about it.
Okay. Joey, what are you working on over there?
If your dog has ever got sprayed by a skunk, well, you're going to want to hear what I have to say.
I bet you it has something to do with tomato juice, because I hear that's what you use when you your animals get sprayed.
Smell.
I could have had a V8.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if that's true or not on the way. Also, what are you working on over there in the newsroom, Lori?
Well, I want you guys to stick around because I'm going to ask you to think about something, okay?
Okay.
There's a new study that was just done on dog and cat dementia, and apparently it is on the rise big time. So I want to know what everybody thinks is the cause of this increase in dog and cat dementia.
Okay, think about that. You two, looking down at your radio. Yeah, I'm talking to you. What do you think causes cat dementia? We'll find out.
And dog dementia.
And dog dementia. We'll find out with Lori Brooks. I have dementia. I'm sorry. We'll
You
find
forgot,
out.
yeah.
I did. Let's go to the phones. Well, hello, Anthony. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
Good. So what's going on? I have the whole team here for you.
Well, what's going on is it seems to be a flea epidemic, if I said it right, going around. I mean, it's really, really bad.
It is bad, yeah.
And so my question is, when I heard the gentleman talk about that you can use Dawn to get rid of the fleas to a certain degree, my question is can you use Dawn on your animal, like, every day? I mean, I'm not saying, like, every day, but with my dog, I have a Chihuahua and I have a Pomeranian. And the Pomeranian has some health issues, but I'm trying to get through that. And I give them the pill, and the fleas come back again. So that is my question about using Dawn. Can I use it?
Great question.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the reason Dawn works to help kill fleas, it's nothing magical about that ingredient. So, oh my God, I'm saying it. There's nothing magical about it. It's a shampoo and a detergent. So we're basically drowning the fleas.
Right.
So if I pick out a couple other non-toxic shampoos, they're going to have the same effect. What Dawn and other detergents do is basically just drown these fleas. So they're only killing the fleas that are on the pet at that moment, and they don't have any residual activity after you're done with the bath. So the question is, how often can you use it? Well, Dawn, it's a degreaser. So excessive use or too frequent can really cause dryness of the skin and dullness of the hair coat. So Joey might be able to tell you a little more about what his recommendation on frequency is, but I really would say sparingly. It's not something that I would do daily. That is too often to be bathing a pet. Now, flea combing you certainly can do every day, but there's no reason you would bathe your pet every day. So I would say you're going to want to use other types of flea control in conjunction with that. And what's the oral product you're using? Like a Quick Kill, like a Capstar, or something like that?
Well, what my wife is using right now, and this is another question I was going to ask you, is called Natural Care Flea and Tick Spray, and she uses that on the dogs every day. So my question is, will that turn out to be like a respiratory problem or something? Because, I did Google and it just says, but it doesn't mention if you can use it every day. She does it to try to make the animals feel comfortable because, like I said, I have a 9-year-old Pomeranian and a 4-year-old Chihuahua. And if these fleas are bothering me, I wouldn't want to play with my little Chihuahua who used to play. He doesn't want to play anymore. And so it's a downer. So these are the questions that I'm just concerned about her using that spray on them every day to make them at least comfortable to try to sleep at night.
Yeah, and I probably would not recommend using that every day. And if it's what I think it is, a lot of the natural sprays, in place of using an EPA-approved insecticide or pesticide, they're actually using different types of essential oils. And essential oils, they're natural ingredients from plant extracts, but they basically are chemicals still. You know, they're hydrocarbons, and cats particularly can be very sensitive to essential oils unless they're diluted to an appropriate amount. So dogs have been also known to have toxicities from essential oil. So the problem is, you know, this is the kind of in that gray zone where it's not well regulated. So how much is too much, I can't tell you, but I can tell you if you're using it daily, that to me sounds excessive. And I would be more judicious about using that less frequently on the pets. Now, in the environment, it might be a totally different thing, but directly on their hair coat would have me concerned at that frequency. Because some of the essential oils, you mentioned the respiratory component. There can be respiratory sensitivities. Some dogs actually can have allergies to the actual oils, kind of like the fragrance can actually cause them to be itchy, scratchy as well. And then in rare cases, when an animal I've seen get into large amounts of undiluted essential oils, I've seen liver disease. So it can cause some problems. So
we can't have
I would say a little bit is good, but, I would say we may need to find other avenues to try to help them. If they're that uncomfortable with the itching of the fleas, then I would, see your veterinarian, because there are some other products that we can use to help control the itch related to flea allergy dermatitis if that's all that they got going on. And that might be something like a pill that we can use for short term while you kind of boost up your efforts on the flea control, or something more long term if you're in a real hotbed of fleas and we're expecting it's a long haul for you this year.
You also got to remember your house too. Make sure you're taking care of your house. How long do those fleas last or live when just in the carpet?
They can live for very long periods of time, because they actually have a pupal stage which can kind of just sit there for quite some time. Most commonly, the egg, when it's laid, it takes about 3 weeks to develop into a flea. But they can hang out and just wait for the right environment. So.
Oh, gee, that is
I know, it's not encouraging, is it, Anthony?
No, not at all. Yeah, I mean, I made the mistake of with my Pomeranian, getting him a lion cut, because he always felt good about that when it comes around the summertime. Cutting his coat, getting it cut down. But now it's to the fact where his hair doesn't grow back anymore. I mean, he's at that age. He's almost 10 years old, and so I Google it, and of course, I ruined his coat. So I really felt bad about that. But every time when the fleas are bothering him, when they're constantly biting him, I see little red spots everywhere, like little blood spots where there's, and I just feel really, really bad about it. So I just wanted to find out some other avenues about that.
You brought up some great points there as far as like with the shaving and all of that. While it may be good for the fleas and trying to control hot spots, it does sometimes cause a stunting of that hair regrowth. So
yes, it definitely did that.
And the other thing, I mean, kind of this is changing subjects a bit, but when I have a pet that's hair's not regrowing well, and especially if we have skin issues on top of that, I'd like to evaluate their thyroid level as well, because underactive thyroid will also cause a lack of hair regrowing after it's been shaved, and can also make their skin a little bit less protective against some of the effects of allergies, itching, and they tend to be more dry. So that might be something to raise with your vet as well.
Oh, he has thyroid issues. We got him on
He does, all right.
Oh, yeah, yes. He has thyroid issues, and he had kidney stones, so, he's hanging in there. He's almost 10 years
Poor
old.
dear.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, good luck with everything there, Anthony, and
Thank you,
you're taking good care of those babies there.
Yes, I will. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm delighted to tell you this portion of Animal Radio is brought to you by Red Barn. Now listen up, in just a couple of seconds, I'm going to give you a promo code to save 10% off your next purchase. Now these guys not only support Animal Radio, they're now in the kibble business. And I'm looking at the side of the package with the ingredients. The first 5 ingredients feature real animal protein. That's how you know it's good. It's going to satisfy your dog's carnivore cravings. That's because your dog, well, they love meat. And these guys, Red Barn, they love your dog. Now get ready to save 10% anytime. Just use the promo code ANIMALRADIO. That's all one word, Animal Radio. And you'll get 10% off anything Red Barn has over at their website at redbarn.com. And thanks, Red Barn, for underwriting Animal Radio.
Hi, it's Alan Cable, and we're talking about dogs. I'm going to give you a little project. I want you to watch your dog for a week. His body language, the way he moves, his energy level. Is he calm and happy or wound up and manic? Watch your dog as much as you can for an entire week. Just observe your dog's behavior and then really think before you react. I'll give you an example. I was in the dog park just yesterday. A woman with a smaller dog is walking. Her dog barks at just about every single dog and just lays into this bigger dog. The bigger dog is calm and relaxed and pretty much just wants to say hi, do a little sniffing around. You know, you can observe the different energy. One dog, very nervous, very afraid, manic, anxious, fearful. The other dog, calm, relaxed, la-di-da. What do you think her response was? Well, she immediately snatches the dog up, is holding the dog, going, oh, it's okay, it's okay. Now, that would be the perfect thing to do if the dog were human, but it's a dog. So what do you think the dog gets from that? He's acting crazy and gets affection. So that tells him it's a good thing he's acting like that. She's reinforcing it. It also tells the dog, yes, there is something to be afraid of, and you're right to be afraid. The best thing to do since the dog's on a leash is just turn around and walk the other way. And if you can't do that, you get out in front of the dog to show him you're in charge and you're going to protect him. You're the pack leader. This is assuming, of course, the dog that he's afraid of is mellow. You don't want to get in the middle of two insane dogs. Now, you also give your dog a correction to refocus his mind. Little jolt of the leash, little hand signal, and you do it over and over again until the dog starts to understand that that behavior is the wrong behavior. When the dog is mellow, you say, good dog. The more in charge you are, the more calm you are, the more calm your dog's gonna be. Dogs are like kids. They need boundaries, and you're the only one who can show them what they are. But you can't do it with words. You've got to do it with body language and corrections and a composed, calm self. And don't forget the praise. So go out there and watch some dogs. Watch yours. See if you can figure out what your dog is saying. And before you act, think about the message it's sending the dog.
Attention sports fans, now you can watch every football game you want all season long without leaving your home with Dish for about $50 a month. Compared to your cable bill, you can save almost $600 a year. Call right now and sign up for Dish and watch every football game you want. With Dish, there are no boxes to pay, plus get free installation as soon as tomorrow if you call now. And with Dish Anywhere, you can watch your favorite sports and channels on your smartphone, tablet, or laptop. Be one of the first 100 orders right now and get a free voice remote. Don't miss a single football game all year long and save a ton of money. Get a free voice remote and free installation as soon as tomorrow. But you gotta call All American Dish right now.
800-380-4452. 800-380-4452. 800-380-4452. That's 800-380-4452.
You're listening to Animal Radio. If you missed any part of today's show, visit us at animalradio.com or download the Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
If you've ever been skunked or your dog skunked or your cat skunked, it's a horrific thing, as Joey would say. And, of course, we all think that tomato juice is the easy go-to solution. It is not. And Joey will tell you why in just a couple of minutes right here on Animal Radio. We'll head back to the phones for your calls, toll-free at 1-866-405-8405 for Dr. Debbie or Joey Villani. And a short check of the news just around the corner. What do you have coming up?
What happens when you invite over 1,000 dogs to a baseball game?
I heard about this. This is so cool. If you haven't heard about this,
how fun would that be?
I'd want to be there.
As long as it's in a stadium and not my house. That's
or
on
backyard, yeah.
Yes. We'll find out more about that in just a couple of minutes. Let's go to the phones for your calls. Well, good afternoon, Heather. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm so pleased to get your call.
Where are you calling from?
Arroyo Grande, California.
Boy, we're getting lots of calls right around this area. You must be listening on KVEC.
You bet. And, you know, it's a great station, and they've just undergone some changes, and I'm so excited that they've kept the best of the best. So there you go.
There you go. Well, I think we've actually been on this station, I think, at least a decade now. So we're very happy to be a part of KVEC.
That's great.
So what's going on? How can we help you? I have the whole team here for you.
Oh, terrific. We need a whole team.
Uh-oh.
So it's a household with my daughter and I have had 2 Chihuahuas. One is 4 and one's 3. It's mama and baby. I mean, literally. And then we have several cats. And the cats aren't the issue. We brought in a new rescue border terrier puppy in June. And he got along great with the Chihuahuas until he got bigger than them. And then now they're, and they played and they cleaned each other and did their ears and all that stuff, and it was great fun. But all of a sudden he got more, I don't say aggressive, but assertive in his play style. Okay. So they now turn the other way and leave the room when they see him coming in. Okay. And we've tried, we give him treats and we give him all love and all that stuff. And we just need to know if it's a puppy stage or something we should do to kind of control his aggressiveness with the play style, which they do not appreciate.
Okay, now you see aggressiveness, so I just need a little clarification. So meaning he's rambunctious, like he kind of bounds on them, leaps on them, and it's something they don't appreciate, or is it actually gotten to bites and growls and something more like that? No, I would say
what you said the first part.
Okay.
It's just too rough a play for them. And they are neutered females, and he's a neutered male, and he's probably going on 4 or 5 months now.
All right. You got two different demographics going on. You've got the adolescent boy right now. Okay, we'll put this in kid terms. We got the adolescent boy, and you've got the 20-year-old college age girls. So, do they want to hang out and play a lot together in the human world? Maybe some, but maybe their level of interaction together is going to be limited, and it isn't always realistic to expect those two different communities, if you will, to get along and to play and to interact in the same manner. So, yes, the trick is to try to figure out some common ground, and that might mean a couple things. That might mean that we work on rewarding the patience of the gals, and then we work on expending this boyish energy that he has and try to just kind of burn that down a little bit. And then hopefully we can find some common ground. But I don't think the goal right now that you should be focused on is to try to get them to lay next to each other in the same room and say, oh, all is nice, because that might just be a bit unrealistic for his age and his exuberance that he has. And being of a border terrier, I mean, they are a go, 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 go. So terriers are all about doing, sniffing, getting into things, and that just might be a bit more than the girls want to have happen. So I do like the idea of treats and rewards, but I would treat and reward the girls when he's around. So just the fact that he's around, maybe interacting in the same room, that's a great reason to give them a treat. I wouldn't just give them a treat for no good reason. I would make sure we try to pair that physical presence of the other dog with something good comes to them, whether it's a special treat, some special love, whatever it might be that your dogs enjoy. But I really think the big thing is for this young fella is to get him worn out, and that might mean finding some activity that is good for him to just kind of burn that energy down, whether that's going to a play group, like a puppy kindergarten class, a doggy daycare. I said play groups. Taking him out for long, extensive walks, playing ball. Some little terriers excel at things like fly ball, which is kind of a retrieving game with balls where they have to do a relay race, and that could be a great thing as well. So something to give him some physical activity and stimulation, so that when you do have them all together, you can kind of expect hopefully the interaction will be a little bit more on a subdued level for him.
Oh, exactly. And I think we're both on the same track. So thank you very much for that. He started daycare a couple of days a week just today.
Awesome.
And,
good.
So we started a dog. Anyway, so I think just kind of try to tire him out.
Yeah, exactly. And, and recognizing when his behavior starts to kind of amp up. And if that means kind of interjecting yourself into the equation, you see that he kind of gets that. Some puppies get kind of a crazy puppy, where they look like they're just going to.
It's kind of like it's on the hunt, kind of, which is just is natural. It's like, okay, calm down. So he just gets him to overwhelm like a little kid at bedtime. He just gets that second wind. Okay.
You got it. So I'm glad it's all innocent and it's playful, because that is totally workable. And I would see that these guys are going to, be pals down the road. But yeah, he's just kind of that annoying little brother right now.
I appreciate it. Okay. Well, thank you so much for your personal call. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening, Heather. We appreciate it. Don't forget, you can also ask your questions from the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
Cute.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
Hi, Hi, this is Carrie Annie Napa from Dance with the Stars. Don't forget to spay and neuter your animals, and you're listening to Animal Radio.
Airlines have just reduced their prices even more. Book 30 days in advance and save big.
Want the absolute lowest prices on your airline tickets? Then call the Low Cost Airlines Travel Hotline right now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. The only way to access our low rates and save up to 70% is to call. Save hundreds on your vacation tickets by calling right now. You can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-958-5306. 800-958-5306. 800-958-5306. That's 800-958-5306.
This is an Animal Radio News Update.
I'm Lori Brooks. Hey, you guys don't go anywhere. I know you take your potty breaks normally at this time, but I have a question for you.
Okay.
Dog and cat dementia is on the rise in a big way. And what do you think is to blame for that? Anybody?
I don't know, but I really need to go to the bathroom.
Go ahead, Hal. Joey, Judy?
All I can say is just because they live longer, so we're seeing more of it. That would be my guess.
Yeah, that's part of it. Joey?
If I had a guess, I'm going to say it is the food, and I'm going to say it's probably
Really?
a lot has to do with how I bet you. Hey, listen, they said that dementia years ago had a lot to do with how the canned food was packaged in the aluminum cans. So who knows? Maybe it's the same thing.
What is it?
I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Scientists in the UK have done this study, and they're up in arms about this, and they're warning everybody, kind of like, hey, it's your fault, and it's up to you guys to improve it. They're blaming it on lazy owners who, aren't giving their pets enough exercise, and poor diets. Joey, you were right. But also, Judy, you were right too, because they are living longer. But in this study that just came out, it shows that a third of dogs begin to suffer from mental decline at age 8. And then that increases to 2/3 of all dogs who were over age 15. So this is not looking good. For cats, half of all cats over the age of 15. And for those who are a little younger, between 11 and 14, it's about 1/3 of them who suffer from dementia. And the vets warn that cheap pet food, their pampered lifestyles, lack of exercise, they are all to blame for this sudden rise in the number of pets that are developing dementia. The average dog does now live to the age of 12 and a cat to 14, thanks to the care that they receive from their owners and medical care, of course, and all the progress is there. But the areas of sufficient exercise and good diet could both use some major improvements, they say. Because, years ago, we weren't seeing pets live until 17 or 18 years old, like some of them do these days, which, as they said, is part of the reason that we are seeing some more dementia now.
How do they display the dementia? Is it like, do they leave the stove on? What is it that? For me, it's real obvious.
It would be kind of obvious, but I remember reading one of the symptoms was that they forget their way around, like they'll back in, they'll go head in first somewhere, and then they forget to back out of it. They forget how to get out of it backwards.
I think our cats forget that they just ate.
Yeah,
and they want to eat again.
Yes, exactly.
Joey?
You look at my bird, okay? Now, Gurney eats fruit, seeds, and vegetables. She's 40 years old, sharp as a tack. Okay?
And she's going to live to 120.
Well, exactly. And then your dog eats chicken meal and byproducts, and then we wonder if it's the food. Of course it's the food. I mean, come on. It makes total sense. I mean, same thing with people.
I think they absolutely need to get some regulation in on that industry. Well, the outfield seats at U.S. Cellular Field, that's in Chicago, where the White Sox hosted 1,122 dogs and their owners. I would have been in heaven. This was during a game against the Cleveland Indians. That game set a Guinness World Record for the most dogs ever at a sporting event. The Sox had set out to achieve the record for their annual Bark at the Park event, and they set the Guinness World Record because the official was actually there game night to verify the record and award the team honor that night. The Sox needed a minimum of 1,000 dogs in attendance in order to set the record, and then it wasn't just enough to have the dogs. They had to remain in their seats, and they were all in the outfield area for a period of at least 10 minutes. Starting at the top of the third inning. I guess you really have to plan these things. And that was all so that they could record the counts. So they counted over 1,100 dogs in less than 10 minutes. A clock in the outfield did count down the 10 minutes. It was during the third inning. And then the Sox announced the record was achieved in the middle of the sixth inning. There were, many dogs, as you can imagine, and a lot of them dressed in White Sox fan gear. And they all did a lap around the field. That was before the game, and then the evening ended with an 8-1 victory for the Sox. So it was a really good night for everybody there.
You know who it wasn't a good night for, though, was the janitor afterwards who had to clean up after 1,000 dogs.
Hopefully there were a lot of poo-poo bags hanging on those leashes, Hal.
I'm hoping.
You talk about the janitor. Usually it is us the human, who has to clean up after the dogs when you go to a park or wherever. But some dogs apparently consider it their duty to return that favor to humans. Because in Germany, there was a woman who recently, I don't know if you saw this video or not, but she captured it on video, this very civic-minded dog doing his fair share of cleanup by putting a mouthful of trash into a garbage container all by himself at the park. The video shows the trash-toting canine walking with the garbage in its mouth, walking towards the trash can in the park, and then the dog puts its nose under the trash can lid to lift it and carefully drops his mouthful of trash into the can. I think that is a great trick training idea.
Better than some humans, too, of course. I mean, they never pick up after themselves.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Hal. The group Citizens Advertising Takeover Service. Now, that stands for, the acronym is CATS, right? Get it? It is managed to replace all the advertisements in one London Underground rail station with pictures of cats. For 2 weeks, commuters at the Clapham Common Tube Station are being greeted by big pictures of adorable kittens instead of, ads selling vitamin water or the 15th edition of a Jason Bourne movie. Cats is the brainchild of Glimpse. It's a creative collective aimed at positive social change. And according to the group's founder, that idea came from a suggestion to, I love this, imagine a world where friends and good experiences were more valuable than the things that you buy. So the group was taken by that too, and they began a crowdfunding campaign on Kickstarter earlier this year, and they raised over $30,000 to buy the advertising space, which features several photos of stray cats that are in need of homes. Now, the response has been fantastic. You will see the people coming through the station with some smiles at first, like, how cool is that? And then they turn the corner in the train station and they see more cat photos have replaced all the ads that they normally see, and their smiles get bigger, and then many people at that point just whip out their cell phones and start taking selfies. So it's been a huge success, and now it's hoped that the campaign will inspire advertisers to rethink their public impact and will use their powers for more good.
We hope.
Yeah. Paws crossed.
Yes.
I'm Lori Brooks. Get more breaking animal news anytime at animalradio.com.
This has been an Animal Radio News Update. Get more at animalradio.com.
Hello, Animal Radians. It's Robert Semrow, your Pet World Insider, here with this week's Animal Radio list, 5 pet holidays happening in October. I know I've shared with you all before that I like to have some fun with pet holidays. Not because they aren't worthy or valid, but for the most part because they're often created by organizations or individuals. Don't get me wrong, I love to party and celebrate with my Animal Kingdom friends, and I'll use any excuse to do it. Still, the creation of pet holidays is something that makes Hallmark and other greeting card companies smile and say, genius, why didn't we think of that? That being said, here are a couple of October pet holidays that we will certainly be talking and reading about. The American Humane Association and the ASPCA have their own spins on October being Adopt a Shelter Dog Month or Adopt a Dog Month. Okay, I'm all for adopting a dog, but I don't think that 1 month is any better than the others. But if you needed just one more reason to adopt a dog in October, there you go. October is also National Animal Safety and Protection Month. Once again, this is an everyday priority for me and for many of the animal world folks I know. However, I do love that it increases the general media's discussion of important topics like animal safety, and that goes for both domestic and wild animals. Also, pet first aid, environmental awareness, and having a proactive plan for animal safety and protection is truly important. National Pet Wellness Month is another important effort to raise awareness about the importance of pet wellness. Let's be honest, as pet parents, our lives are extremely busy. So if you haven't done so recently, stop, take a minute, and do a head-to-tail check of your pet. Note what you observe so that you can go back to it the next time you review your pet's wellness, either with a professional or just simply by yourself. October also brings us National Pet Obesity Awareness Day. This is truly an important issue, as more than 50% of our dogs and cats are said to be overweight, and the numbers continue to grow. There are a number of simple, easy-to-do things that can have an impact on your pet's weight. From better food to appropriate sized feeding bowls to less treats and more exercise. The bottom line, if you needed an excuse to work on your pooch's belly, you've got that in October. There are several other important holidays celebrated throughout October, including Animal Welfare Week, National Feral Cat Day, National Cat Day, and so much more. You know, after looking at all these, I'm inspired to suggest just one more. October is sure to be the dress your pet up in a funny, crazy, ridiculous, or super cute outfit and share it on social media month. Or as I like to call it, why pets get revenge on their people month. Okay, all kidding aside, October has a number of great ways to celebrate the animals in your life. Celebrate them by sharing your favorite holiday or holiday suggestions on our Animal Radio Facebook page.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Find us at animalradio.com. Log on, learn more.
Attention sports fans, now you can watch every football game you want all season long without leaving your home with Dish for about $50 a month. Compared to your cable bill, you can save almost $600 a year. Call right now and sign up for Dish and watch every football game you want. With Dish, there are no boxes to pay, plus get free installation as soon as tomorrow if you call now. And with Dish Anywhere, you can watch your favorite sports and channels on your smartphone, tablet, or laptop. Be one of the first 100 orders right now and get a free voice remote. Don't miss a single football game all year long and save a ton of money. Get a free voice remote and free installation as soon as tomorrow. But you gotta call All American Dish right now.
800-380-4452. 800-380-4452. 800-380-4452. That's 800-380-4452.
Live at the Red Barn Studios, you're listening to Animal Radio. Here's Hal and Judy.
It's Animal Radio. There's another one.
No, are you serious? Where?
Hanging right there from
Oh
the,
my God. We're infested.
We're not infested.
Yes, we are.
We attract animals here at Animal Radio. And I was just before we went into the last break, I was looking down at my microphone, which I get pretty cozy with. And I noticed there's a little inchworm, except it wasn't even an inch. It was like a 1/4 inch worm, just a little worm crawling across the microphone.
Oh.
Why are you so disgusted?
Because it's a creepy crawler.
It's just a little. I had to take him out to the garden.
You set him free.
I did set him free, but now I see there's another one hanging from the telephone hybrid. Some of the equipment here in the studio, which is very strange. But I guess it's an animal show, and they're all here to join us.
Yeah. Okay.
In a few minutes, we're going to talk to Brandon over at Apollo Peaks, and he makes a wine for cats.
For cats.
The MosCAto and the Pinot Meow.
That's cute. I like that.
So if you enjoy having a glass of wine in the evening and your
now
cat's
you can
sitting there on
share
your
it
lap,
with your cat.
you can share it with your cat. So that's on the way. In just
Nobody likes to drink alone.
And, we were talking about the internet just a few minutes ago and how powerful it is, especially for cats. We know the cats actually started the internet. But we also know the success of Instagram, especially this next gentleman. He is an Instagram, what should I say?
Sensation.
Hit sensation, especially with his animals. We welcome Steve Gregg to the show. Hi, Steve. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Very good. So now how many cats and dogs do you have?
Oh, gosh. Well, there's 9 dogs and a pig, and then there's 2 cats also, and some chickens and a couple of ducks and a rabbit.
Steve, are you a single man?
I think you know the answer to that.
You have lots of love in your household. That's the answer to that, right? Are these all rescues?
They are, except for one dog. I have one dog from before I started rescuing seniors, the Irish Wolfhound. I've had him before I started doing that. But other than that, they're rescues.
So these are special needs animals.
Yes. They're dogs that weren't getting adopted either because they were too old or because, they had some kind of problem, blind or, skin conditions or bad knees or whatever.
So you started posting these guys on Instagram.
Yes.
And what was the reaction?
Well, it's funny because, you've got 9 dogs and a pig in the house. So I had some pretty great pictures. So I just started posting and it started to get some attention and started to grow. And then I got a really big bump in followers when Humans of New York, I adopted a dog from his girlfriend's site, which is Susie's Senior Dog, and I didn't know that was Brandon Stanton from Humans in New York. I didn't know that was his girlfriend, but I saw this dog, and she was blind, and she was in the middle of nowhere, and she'd lost all her hair, and she had sores on her face, and I was like, well, I got to get this dog, and so I adopted her, and then he called me, and he was like, this is Brandon from Humans in New York. I just really want to thank you for adopting that dog, and then he looked at the account, and he liked it, and he posted something on his Facebook that this was one of his favorite accounts, and then it grew a bunch from there, and it's just kind of grown in steps like that.
Wow, it's amazing how things go viral, huh?
Yeah.
Does the pig think that he's a dog?
Oh, I think she thinks she's better than a dog.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure she doesn't think she's a pig, but I think she thinks she's a step above a dog. She's great. Lots of personality. Very. She makes me laugh every day. I love that pig.
Okay, so if people want to follow you on Instagram, how do they do that?
It's Wolfgang2242. One word, Wolfgang2242. And then you'll see all the pictures and, all the special needs dogs and Bikini the pig.
Bikini the pig. I love it. Why Bikini, should I ask?
I don't know. I looked at her and she was, a little rotund, and I don't know. It just looked like a pig that needed to be named Bikini.
Well, I'm going to go check it out right now. We'll put links to everything you've heard on today's show, actually, over at animalradio.com. Steve, thanks for hanging with us.
I appreciate it.
Okay, we're going to head back to the phones for your calls. Toll free, 1-866-405-8405. And I'm going to free this worm here during the next call.
Another one.
I think it's actually trying to cocoon and turn into a butterfly.
He's just hanging there.
Yeah, he is hanging there. Let's go check in with Susan Sims right now. She's reporting today from St. Louis, where I believe she's in a hotel room getting ready for tomorrow's big events in St. Louis. Where are you guys going to be?
Oh, my gosh. We are so excited. This is like the biggest event of the tour. It's at Tilly's Park in Ladue. It's the Canine Carnival. I think it's in its 25th, 26th year. Over 3,000 people show up, and our line to spin the wheel does not let up for 4 hours. So if you want to get in there and line up for prizes, donate to the shelter, that is the day to do it.
I saw you spinning the wheel on the Hallmark channel during that morning show. You are quite the little TV star, aren't you?
We were really fortunate to get invited to be on Home and Family, and it was so much fun, and I hope they invite us again next year, but it was a blast.
Okay, so if you're in St. Louis, where do you got to be tomorrow?
We're going to be over at Tilly's Park in Ladue, and it's online. If you go to FidoFriendly.com, click on the Route 66 logo. It takes you right to that page that loads up all the events, all the dates, all the times, and all the locations.
Okay, and you've been working yourself across the country for almost 3 weeks now. You'll be in Chicago next Saturday, and then in Springfield, Illinois on Sunday, and then off to Kansas City, Missouri, and Merriam, Kansas. It seems like you might be doing a little backtracking.
Yeah, we do. we do the best we can to stay close to the route, and we try to work with all the shelters and make sure this is a good time to host events with them. So we do a little backtracking, but it's okay. It's still a lot of fun.
And it's always fun along Route 66. Have you given any thought to my idea on Find Your Baby on I-80?
I actually love that idea, but if Hal and Judy, you would have to come along.
There you go. That's
like that
condition.
Idea. I always thought you had the fun job anyway.
Hi, this is Iron Chef Kat Cora on Animal Radio. Please adopt a pet.
Start your dog's daily dental routine with Red Barn's new dental treats, Chewables. Thoughtfully designed with ridges and grooves to help control plaque and tartar buildup in between your dog's dental vet visits. Chewables are natural, easily digestible, and your dog will love them. Red Barn Chewables, the tastiest way to brush your dog's teeth. Learn more at redbarn.com today.
Use the promo code Animal Radio, and you'll get 10% off your purchase.
Celebrating the connection with our pets. This is Animal Radio, featuring veterinarian Dr. Debbie White, groomer Joey Villani, news director Lori Brooks. And now, from the Red Barn Studios, here are your hosts, Hal Abrams and Judy Francis.
Okay, this hour, your calls. Also, we're going to visit with the makers of cat wine. Is this for real? Cat wine?
Yeah.
I remember this. Lori reported on this a couple of weeks ago. They make a MosCAto and a Pinot Meow, if my memory serves me correctly. These are for your cat, and I believe they're infused with catnip. We'll have giveaways coming up in just a couple of minutes right here on Animal Radio. Have you ever heard of that, Doctor?
This will be a first. I'm just wondering if these cats are going to, start ordering things off of TV afterwards.
What are you working on over there in the newsroom, Lori, for this hour?
Just reading some research. There is a country where the people live longer than we do here in the United States, and now their animals live longer, too. We'll have to find out what the secret is, and I'll tell you.
Must be Greece. Don't they live long in Greece on those Mediterranean islands?
I think so.
I thought you meant Greece as in French fries at first. No. Neither, Hal.
Doesn't help. Okay, that's on the way. Let's go to your calls first for Dr. Debbie and Joey Villani. Well, hello there, Kathy. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. Are you on a speakerphone?
No, I'm wearing my headset.
Oh, okay. Are you in the bathroom?
No, is it echoing? I'm in a small room. Now I'm walking out.
Okay, now you sound great. So where are you calling from today?
I'm calling from San Luis Obispo, California.
Just down the street from us. So what's going on?
Where are you actually in Morro Bay?
We are in Morro Bay.
Ah, okay. Well, what's happening is my mom, who's quite elderly, just adopted, and I helped her find a new cat, or a cat for her to have as a companion.
Okay.
And the cat is 8 years old, and her elderly lady passed away. And in the last couple of years, this happened 2 years ago, and since then she just kind of got bounced around, and, well, she got abandoned at first. She just got dumped outside by the family, and then she fortunately got taken in by the Cal Poly Cat program.
Okay.
And yes, she's been through a couple of homes, just really through no fault of her own. But her name is Squeakers, or that's, I think it was a nickname. But my mom really wanted to name her something nicer, and I was just wondering, at 8 years old, is it a bad thing to rename a cat, especially this poor kitty who's had so many changes?
Yeah. Well, I guess the first thing we have to realize is when we name a cat and we call them, how often do they actually come to us?
Yeah, I have fun, but
so this is maybe a little bit different than a dog in that the response time and the turnaround that we're going to expect with calling a cat is going to be, maybe a little lower bar than we would have for a dog. Yeah. So, but that being said, I can understand that if your mom was interested in changing her name, but I just can't say that it's going to be an easy thing to get the expectation that the kitty is going to respond and come to the name.
I don't want to confuse the kitty or make her any more unsure of her situation than she might be.
I don't think it would confuse her unless our expectations made her upset. So if we call a cat and they don't come and we get angry or, something about how we respond to them becomes stressful, then it would be stressful for her. But she's not going to care if you call her Buffy and she doesn't come. It's not going to bother her. It might frustrate your mother, though, and that might be the thing that, I might just advise to not change the rules or the name so much, because it really might put your mom in more of a situation where she becomes frustrated the kitty's not coming to her name or responding to her name in whatever way. Now, it can be done, and if you have the means to assist your mom with this is something you can certainly do, using food as the reward to kind of retrain her. But like I said, my expectations would be a little bit lower, and I just don't know that. I would rather see her spend bonding time with her in other ways than, trying to change her name. It's just my 2 cents there.
That's good. And my mom's 92, and she kind of forgets what she wanted to call her anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So she had a hard time with squeakers.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but
a lot of people, how many of us call a cat kitty? And, do they come to us? Maybe. Maybe it's more of our vocal intonation, if we're shaking something that's exciting to them. So that might be the things that you could look at doing, if your mom is struggling with that name or chooses a different one, it comes out more naturally for her. You can definitely pair that.
The kitty Squeakers/Daisy, loves to be brushed. So I suggested to my mom that maybe she brush her or have some kind of enjoyable time.
Sounds like she'll be a great companion for your mom. And, that is the power of the human-animal bond. It keeps us healthier, keeps us going, and really gives us some sense of purpose in our lives. So thank you so much for your call, Kathy. We appreciate you calling and bringing up that question.
That's a good question.
Best of luck.
We've never heard that question. So that was the first time that we've heard that question here. And there's only one thing that my cat comes to, and that's the can opening. You can call him anything. Hi, who's this?
Hello, this is Richard.
Hey, Richard, how are you doing today?
Hey, great. Well, I wanted to tell you how to get rid of fleas.
How to get rid of fleas. We've been having a lot of flea calls today, so this is helpful. How do you get rid of fleas, Richard?
All right, perfect. No poisons, none of that. No, you don't poison everybody in the house. Don't spend anything. We were living down at the beach. This has been 20 years ago, though.
Uh-huh.
That was the last time I had them.
They're pretty bad down at the beach.
Oh, my God. Anyway, we're just doing everything everybody else does, trying to get rid of them. And my daughter picks it anyway. Winds up there with a dog in the house. So we had a floor model TV, and she wanted to leave the floor model TV on so the dog could see his plate of water she left for him.
Well, that's nice. That's considerate of her.
Yeah. Anyway, we did that, and I muted the TV. I slept in there, and the next morning, the pie pan, with all the lights out now except that television running, that pie pan you couldn't see the bottom of it because of the fleas on top.
Uh-huh, I see.
Okay, here's how you get rid of them. All right. And I kept doing that until they quit appearing.
Okay, so let me make sure I have this straight. You had a pie tin? Is that what you were talking about?
Water.
A pie tin?
Any kind. I would assume any type of pan, but she put the water in a pie pan.
And put it next to the TV?
In front of the TV.
Yeah, right. She was floor model TV, right up under the TV, right beside of it.
Well, that's creative. Hey, Richard, you guys have created a really kind of unique spin on what we call a flea trap. And this is something that's actually a lot of the veterinary dermatologists and insect specialists recommend. They don't necessarily incorporate the TV, which is kind of a cool little spin you've done, but using a low pie pan, which is a low threshold, so we know the fleas can kind of get in there easily, and a direct light source shining into that site, which attracts the fleas to the area.
Is it the light or is it the heat that attracts? Or is it both?
It's a little bit of both, really. So when that shines into that area, it's just kind of a place that draws them. So yeah, you're kind of selectively removing the adult form of the fleas. You're not doing anything for those immature forms, but in the next couple of weeks, you'll have more fleas that'll be popping out that will hopefully be jumping in your pool and watching some TV at the same time.
I know it works every time.
Yeah.
I've got a friend of mine down here a couple of years ago, and I put her TV on the floor, and it took care of hers the same way, but it was a different type of hand. But,
and it could be any program, too, right?
Make them watch some infomercials. I'm sure that'll really put them out of their misery.
Well, all the lights out in the house except that TV, and I had it on mute, leave it all night, and hello, Dolly.
Yeah, well, that's cool. That's a very good idea, Richard.
I got to try this.
Give that a try. Now, I would imagine that the newer TVs, the LCD TVs, probably aren't, well, I don't know if it's all light, but they're not as hot, so it may not work with some of the newer LCD TVs or flat panels, so you need probably one of those older ones. But a great idea. Richard, thanks for calling to reach out with your dream team with your questions or flea remedies.
I hear barking all the time. It doesn't stop.
That must drive you crazy, huh?
Well, there's actually supposed to be a pig that's going to have surgery, and they promised me they would wait whilst we are...
because you want to see the surgery?
No, because you will hear it. It will overpower my voice. The squeals are very intense. It is like you have to wear earplugs.
What kind of surgery is the pig having done?
He's losing his testicles, unfortunately.
Or
I should say fortunately, because he'll be a much happier, pleasant baby to be around.
Are they like dogs? They basically they become actually better behaved afterwards?
They do, yeah. And also the males their tusks grow very long. It's hormonally driven. So they'll always have some tusk growth, but when they're not neutered, it gets to be a problem, and then they have to be trimmed quite regular.
So do you do a lot of pig neutering?
It seems like we certainly do. Pigs are pretty popular pets in the Las Vegas area, so spaying and neutering is really important because the females, they are just as ornery when they're in heat, and they're pretty much in heat kind of on and off all the time. So they just make better pets, and certainly it avoids a lot of other health problems if you take care of that.
Yeah, you probably don't want a female pig in heat around a lot. That would be...
No. And we certainly don't need unwanted pig pregnancies either. Although there's not too many runaway, stray potbelly pigs running around impregnating pigs in backyards. That's unlikely.
Hey, don't forget you can get your fix of Animal Radio anytime you want with the Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android. Download it now. It's made possible by Fear Free Pets, taking the pet out of petrified. Visit them at fearfreehappyhomes.com.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Ross on Animal Radio. Please remember to spay and neuter your pets.
Your dog loves meat. That's why they'll love the new line of Red Barn dry dog food. The first 5 ingredients in each Red Barn recipe are meat, fish, or poultry, sure to satisfy your dog's carnivore cravings. The added functional ingredients make Red Barn dry dog foods the perfectly balanced meal for your best friend. Available in land, ocean, and sky recipes. Your dog loves meat. We love your dog. Head to redbarn.com to use the promo Animal Radio for 10% off your first bag.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
I just found out we're going to have giveaways of this cat wine. It's a non-alcoholic wine. In just a few minutes, we're going to talk about the Pinot Meow and the MosCAto wine that Apollo Peak is making in Denver.
That's awesome.
Yes, it is. And I definitely want to try some on the cats. But
yeah,
whoever we give it to, they'll have to try it out, and they'll have to report back to us.
That's with pictures.
With pictures.
I want pictures.
We want to see your cat all buzzed up on the Pinot Meow.
Catnip wine, yeah.
So what's happening over there in the newsroom, Miss Lori Brooks?
So coming up in Chicago, there are these ghost-busting cats. Actually, they're rat-busting cats, but they call them the Ghostbusters. And what happens when they come face-to-face with a fat rat so big they've named it Jesus?
That's on the way right here on Animal Radio. Stick around for that. Well, I've got to say, I work with the best dream team in the business. One of the greatest members has been along with us since 2008 would be the Dogfather, Joey Villani. And I think it's your anniversary, so welcome.
Is it? I was just thinking that. I think it's coming soon, if not.
We're going to have a little anniversary party for you.
Good. I want cake.
Consider it done.
All right. So listen, do you know what, sometimes you sit here. I mean, I've done since 2008. You think about all the grooming tips I've done, and sometimes tips come to you in the middle of the night or they smack you square in the face, and this one definitely did, because last night I had my sliding door open, the screen closed, and I woke up to the horrific smell of a skunk.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I said, there we go. Maybe it's time to talk about, because the skunks are out right now. This time of the year, it gets a little bit cooler out, usually now or in the spring. You see a lot of skunk activity. And it's funny because a friend of mine's dog got skunked just 2 days ago, and they called me up. What do I do? Panicking.
Tomato juice,
first
right?
thing I'm going to... Yeah, but you know what? You just took the words out of my mouth and maybe regurgitate them, because tomato juice is horrible.
Oh, really?
I'm not going to say that it doesn't work. See, the acidity in the tomatoes is really what they say takes the smell out of the skunk. But I think the person who invented that was really hated the person whose dog got sprayed by a skunk, because when you do that, the amount of mess that it makes compared to the amount of smell it actually takes off of the pet is I've known people who have done that before they've come to the grooming salon, and they were crying, and they not only had a house that smelled like skunk because the dog was running all over, but they also had a red house that everything was stained, and they had to clean that up. So here's the thing: the first thing you're going to do is the smell is going to be horrific, especially, when you drive past in a car and you smell it, and you go, ooh, skunk, and some people say, I like that smell, and some people say, I don't.
Some people actually like that smell, huh?
Yeah, some people do. But until you actually come in contact with it, I mean, it's one of the most horrific things that you'll ever experience, and your house sometimes will fill up for days with this. So this is what you want to do. If you can do it outside, do it outside. If it's too cold, you can't. But the first thing is get a degreaser. The quickest and easiest degreaser you're going to have in your house, because this isn't going to happen during normal hours, because it never does. This is going to be 2 o'clock in the morning where you can't go anywhere. So get that dish detergent out. If you have Dawn, I know that works great. And you're going to take a quarter cup of Dawn to a gallon of water, and you're going to mix that up. Now, the worst thing you could do is wet the pet first, because when I wet it, it's kind of like when you get an oil stain. And, if sometimes if you put powder or something on it, it'll take it out. But if you wash the garment, you're going to set that stain in. Well, the same thing is going to happen with the skunk odor. It's going to set itself right in there, and it's going to be extremely hard to get out. So what I want to do is I want to break down the oils in the skunk spray. So I'm going to apply this mixture of degreaser and water, okay, dish detergent and water, onto my pet. Now, don't get in their eyes, because it will extremely burn. Okay, it's very drying to the coat, but unfortunately, this is we'll condition, we'll get it out. Shampoo it in really good, rinse it out, and then do a second treatment again and rinse it out. And then you could follow up with if you have a pet conditioner, it would be great. If you don't have a pet conditioner, use a people conditioner to get some type of moisture onto the coat. When it gets it on the face, now this is hard to use on the face, because you don't want to get it around the eyes or the muzzle. And a lot of times they get it in their mouth. When they get it in their mouth, unfortunately, they're just going to have to go away. But on the face, what works great is Listerine. And you can get the antiseptic, you can get the knockoff versions from the dollar store. Works really good, because what it'll do is it'll break down the oils. But again, don't wet it first. If once I wet it, I solidify it. It's going to stay there for a long time. Mm-hmm. So what I could do is I could take a cotton ball, and again, you don't want to get it in the eye, but around the muzzle, around the cheeks, the places that's a little bit hard, sometimes the shampoo, I can use that. And it works really, really, really well. So there you go, okay? And you're not going to get it all out, but you're going to get it. It's going to be very, very bearable at that point.
How long will it last after that point?
Here's the thing. It all depends on how hard the dog gets sprayed. I've had dogs 6 months later, and especially when they get wet. When they get wet, you usually smell it again. And, your dog will go out in the rain, you think it's gone, and then it'll come back in. I smell skunk, and it's fluffy. That still smells like skunk that got sprayed 6 months ago. So it really all depends, but it could be up to 6 months.
Okay, so the biggest takeaway here is don't use the tomato juice.
Don't wet them.
No,
that was a theory brought up by, I believe, the tomato juice
industry trying to sell more tomato juice.
Dawn Dish Detergent, as usual, one of the things that you need to have in your house.
The other big takeaway, Hal,
yes?
would be do it outside, like Joey said.
There you go. Joey Villani, the Dogfather, is on Animal Radio.
This is
Animal Radio.
This is
Animal Radio, baby.
Fido Friendly Magazine presents the 13th annual Cross Country Pet Adoption Tour. Get your licks on Route 66. Along with media sponsor Animal Radio, the tour travels down America's favorite highway from Los Angeles to Chicago, stopping at shelters along the way to support adoption events with the help of companion sponsor Zymox, cat food sponsor Catit, hotel sponsor My Place Hotels, campground sponsor KOA, advocate sponsors Sure Pet Care and Home Again, Tito's Vodka for Dog People, and Embrace Pet Insurance. The tour has helped place over 14,000 pets into new forever homes in the first 12 years. Community sponsors Hands On Gloves, Brutus Bone Broth, Buddy Belts, and Dog TV go along for the ride, while we bring our giant spinning wheel filled with prizes you can win. Log on to FidoFriendly.com to find out where the tour stops near you. And who knows, you just might find your new forever friend.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
This is an Animal Radio News Update.
I'm Lori Brooks. It's not just people who are living incredibly long lives in Japan. Apparently, their pets do too, according to a new report from the Tokyo University of Agriculture and Technology, which found the longevity of pet cats and dogs in the country has soared to record heights, with the average cat there living to 11.9 years and dogs in Japan to 13.2 years. Wow. The latest figures reflect how the longevity of pets has steadily increased in recent years, with the average lifespan growing nearly 2.5 times for cats and 1.5 times for dogs in the past 25 years. That is huge. So let's compare this. The average cat in Japan lives almost 12 years. Now, in 1990, the average lifespan of cats was 5.1 years. So that's a big leap if we humans were so lucky. Now, for dogs, it was 8.6 years back in 1990. So they've added almost 5 years to their lifespans. And that's amazing. But Japan's a whole different country. Researchers believe it's because of the growing number of pets there being kept indoors, better quality pet foods they're being fed, and major advances in medical treatment. Yeah. Meanwhile, the study also found, and you've probably heard this, but here is some proof. Researchers also found that mixed breed dogs live longer than purebreds, and female cats live longer than male cats. Now, here is the cherry on top of all of that research. Japan is not the only place in the world where pets are living longer. Here in the United States, for example, the average pet lifespan has soared to almost 13 years for cats and almost 12 years for dogs now. And by the way, if you've never been to Japan, the country is famously home to one of the world's more sophisticated pet industries, shall we say, with countless services totally devoted to all things pet-related, with the more innovative among them ranging from things like cat aromatherapy and dog dance classes to entire pet fashion shows.
Wow. Don't the Japanese live longer, too? The humans?
Yeah, they do.
They do. Yeah, I thought so. Must be the
yeah,
food.
So, yeah, it's got to be part of it, I would think. Most people visit Hawaii looking to spend, long, lazy hours on white sandy beaches, just relaxing. But true Very true cat people, on the other hand, might have a warmer and fuzzier option in mind, because on the small island of Lanai, there is this very little known slice of feline heaven called the Lanai Cat Sanctuary, which is home to 495 cats.
Wow.
And apparently, people from all over the world love to fly in there just to hang out with these cats. And though there's a fence surrounding the property, there are no cages within the main area of the sanctuary. The cats, which they call Hawaiian lions, as they call them there, they have large huts and trees to climb on, patches of grass where they can sun themselves, and all of the human attention they could ever want. In fact, this place is so nice, diehard cat lovers call it the Fur Seasons, and instead of Four Seasons.
Yeah.
And luckily, it is open to the public for a few hours every day. Visitors, too, can adopt or foster if they fall in love with a cat, and the sanctuary also helps to facilitate adoptions for both locals as well as out-of-state visitors. But if a cat is never adopted, no problem. It can live out its entire life there. The sanctuary is the perfect place for cats who need a home. But they say it's also doubly good because it serves a second purpose on the island, and that is also protecting endangered indigenous bird populations.
Oh, yeah. I never thought about that. I want to go vacation there right now.
Me too.
It's a great reason to go to Hawaii.
You'll have to look it up. Just Google it and look at the videos. You will see people everywhere, just people taking pictures, and it's like they are starving for cat attention. These people are. It's really cool. Chicago Brewery has called up its version of feline Ghostbusters to handle their troublesome rodent infestation, and apparently this team is doing quite the fantastic job. Venkman, Raymond, Egan, and Gozer are the Ghostbusters named kitty enforcers that have taken up residence in Chicago's Empirical Brewery. Now, these cats come from the Cats at Work project, a wonderful project that removes feral cats from dangerous situations around town and then puts them in new homes where they can control Chicago's rampant rodent problem. The brewery staff struggled with rats in a big way before their feline friends swooped in to save their day. In fact, these rats were so big and bad, they even named one particularly massive rat Jesus after coming face to face with it several times. It was pretty massive. But since then, the 4 cats who are there, they've been working at the brewery, and the staff says they haven't seen a single rodent since the 4 moved in. Now, having the Ghostbuster cats is also proven to be much more cost effective than monthly extermination treatments because those didn't work. And the cats are really happy. They spend most of their time just lazing around the brewery in their special comfy beds because apparently just their scent is enough to keep rats at bay. I didn't know that. Did you guys?
I'm learning every day.
I thought that was amazing. So just having a cat around, it's a good reason. Now, in fact, the success of the Cats at Work program at the brewery has been so successful. You guys got to love this kind of stuff. It has led to a 30-day wait list for other businesses and families waiting for their own rat cat. The true seal of success. And by the way, if you are a cat lover, you can follow the Empirical Brewery Cats Adventures. They're on Twitter, too. I'm Lori Brooks. Get more breaking animal news anytime at animalradio.com.
This has been an Animal Radio News Update. Get more at animalradio.com.
You're listening to Animal Radio. If you missed any part of today's show, visit us at animalradio.com or download the Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
It's Animal Radio, celebrating the connection with our pets. And if you're like me, you enjoy a good glass of wine every once in a while, maybe once or twice a week. And you wish you could share it with your cats because they're sitting on your lap. They're
sniffing it. They're trying to get in the glass. Mine does. She sticks her nose in it.
Lori did a story about a couple of weeks ago. She was talking about this MosCATo and Pinot Meow that's made by a winery. I'm not sure if it's a winery. We'll find out. It's Apollo Peak. And we have the top dog over there, or should I say top cat?
Top cat.
Brandon Zavala. Hi, Brandon. How are you doing?
Hello. Hey, how's it going? Not too bad. How are you guys?
Very good. So are you a winery, or are you involved with making wine?
No, we are not a winery. We like to consider ourselves to be a pet beverage company,
Okay.
if you will. So kind of like a brand new brewery for pets, making drinks from wines to working towards vitamin drinks as well, too, for both cats and dogs.
Oh, wow. Okay, so tell us about the wine, the MosCAto and the Pinot Meow.
Yeah, so both of our wines, the Pinot Meow and the MosCAto, are essentially made with catnip. They're non-alcoholic. They don't contain grapes, but we make them with organic beets and organic catnip as well, so that they get that smell of catnip and they start acting like they've been drinking wine and getting a little tipsy.
And it's made with beets, which is good for your animals, isn't it? I would
Yeah,
imagine.
yep. Totally safe for animals, both cats and dogs, and a lot safer than using anything like grapes or anything like that. So,
how did you come up with this idea?
Happy hour?
Yeah, technically it was over happy hour. It was a really fun idea how it started, actually. The original idea was actually slapping a label to have a cat-themed actual wine for humans, and really that's what I did. I brought it out to some friends, and I said, hey, I brought some cat wines for you guys, and I said, is this for cats or for humans? And I had thought, well, you know what, this is for us, but, that would be a pretty cool idea, actually, to make one for cats, and that's kind of how it started, basically.
Well, how is it going so far? How are people reacting to this?
It's going pretty good. We have a lot of good reactions from folks who are feeding it to their cats. We get all kinds of different reactions from the cats, whether they start playing with the glass, they start drinking it, start acting kind of funny, or essentially just being what cats do, just kind of funny and floating around the drink itself. So.
And I want to know, why beets? I mean, is there something about beet juice that cats find appealing that I don't know about?
No. There really isn't anything appealing to them, essentially. So we have to work to make it palatable for them so they actually drink it. But beets, the idea kind of came from when I was sitting down thinking, well, what can I color this stuff with so it actually looks like a wine, but not like be a food coloring or something like that, And that's how the idea with beets just started. And I had, done some research and found that beets are safe and a safe kind of all-natural food coloring, essentially, for cats. So we started using that as our base color for a lot of our wines. And then we just brewed in some catnip and made it kind of tasty or smell good type of drink for the cats in general. So.
Do you grow your own catnip, or you outsource that?
We outsource that, but we do have a couple catnip plants set up in front of our facility here where we'll start using for like smaller batches and stuff.
That's pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and give away a couple of bottles of this.
Yeah, let's
do that. Yeah. The one caveat, should I say, is that you need to report back and tell us how your cats liked the Apollo Peak vintage, should I say, MosCAto and Pinot Meow.
And we want pictures.
Yeah, we want pictures of your cats enjoying it. Brandon, thank you so much for hanging with us today.
Oh, no problem. Thank you guys for talking with me anytime.
That's kind of a unique idea.
Yeah, I think it's cute.
What about for someone like for my cat Jackie, who swats everything within sight? If it flies off the table, so be it. Maybe they should mark it like a wine glass with some kind of like a suction cup on the bottom.
That's not a bad idea, because I can tell you beet juice all over the carpet won't be a pretty thing.
Yeah, and my cat used to go over, and if I had a glass sitting there, he would just take his paw and tip it over. Just because he could.
Because it's a cat.
Yeah.
That's what cats do. Okay, yeah, so puppy pads are convenient, but sometimes they're really gross. That's why Ladybug, the Animal Radio Studio stunt dog, uses the Brilliant Pad self-cleaning puppy pad. It seals away the waste and replaces the dirty pad for us. Brilliant Pad keeps the Animal Radio Studios smelling fresh. In fact, all we have to do is replace the roll once every few weeks. And let me tell you, that's pretty fast and easy to do. I love it, and Ladybug gives it 5 paws up. You can learn more about this amazing machine over at brilliantpad.com. How about we go to the phones for your calls for Dr. Debbie and Joey Villani, toll free right now. Hi, Kim. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Very good. Where are you?
I'm in Alexandria, Virginia, so I'm in the Washington, D.C. area.
Okay, and what's up with you today?
Oh, well, I adopted this beautiful male Maine Coon from a family about a year ago. They had to give him up because they had a baby who he was trying to assert his dominance in the household, and he was starting to attack the baby. So clearly the infant had to come first, and so they had to give him up, and I adopted him. And he's a healthy, happy, well-adjusted cat in every way except he chews everything like a puppy, and he's destroyed hundreds of dollars of worth of stuff. It's furniture, clothing, cables, plastic, metal. I mean, it's, and then
metal?
I tried
He chews metal?
Yes, metal. metal hangers from a dry cleaner.
Wow.
I mean, it's like I don't know what's going on with him. I'm this close to calling a pet psychic or something because I cannot figure it out. The bitter chew spray didn't work. Tinfoil didn't work. Pepper paste from Indian curry, the hot pepper paste, that didn't work.
Now we're talking about a cat here. I just want to make sure. Okay.
He's a Maine Coon, and I asked his vet, and the vet said, well, the breed, they tend to be kind of mouthy. And I said, well, that doesn't really help me.
Because you walk in with your clothes all chewed up.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. He's destroyed all kinds of stuff. And I don't know what to do about it because I'm worried about him getting hurt. I left a wood coat hanger, one of the thick, nicer kind, and he chewed up one whole end of it and had little splinters in his mouth.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to ask you if he's been eating any of these things, if he actually chews for the purpose of ingesting it?
Nope. It's like somebody chewing gum. He's just chewing on it, teething.
Yeah, and I would say that when your vet said that, some cats have a higher, like an oral need to chew, that is true. And with what you've got going on, there's really a couple things that I would suggest to try to manage through this. And the biggest thing is I forgot to ask you, Kim, does your kitty stay inside or go outside?
He's 100% indoor, and I work very long hours, but I mean, he sleeps most of the day, and again, he's, personality-wise and temperament, he's very well adjusted. He's also really spoiled. I don't know if I'm enabling bad behaviors, probably.
Yeah. But, for an indoor kitty, and especially if you are working long hours, then some of this type of behavior, for cats to chew, we're not, you don't hear about this a lot, but some cats do this just like dogs do, kind of as a soothing, kind of a, gives them some kind of sense of calm. So, there may be that kind of oral need to chew on things, and it may just be he's bored. So part of my prescription for you is going to be, we're going to need to really set up some established activity and play sessions for him. And for a cat that we're fighting something like this, I would prescribe at least 3 to 4 play sessions a day where we are doing something active, cat dancer toys, kind of things where we make him jump and run around or, chase you around the house, things like that, because we have to get his level of activity up. A tired pet is one that's less likely to have some behavioral problems. And it's kind of hard to make a cat run on a treadmill, but that's the basic thing. We got to get him something else to do and something else to focus on during his day. Okay. Some ways that we can do that when you're not around and try to help kind of feed that need to chew is to give him things that make him work for a treat. So rather than just kind of put food out for him, I would, kind of make it a little bit more challenging for him. They do have certain like Kong toys, certain kind of rubberized toys where there's food inside, and you can hide treats and hide food in there. We want to make it kind of almost like a little Rubik's Cube kind of puzzle where we have to kind of stimulate his mind and his activity in order to get some food items. And then there are some places we can redirect this, like the kitty grass that you can grow. I would say, I would line your sills with it and grow it for this boy because, if he likes to chew on things, that's something we can direct him to. And then there's some of the safer things like paper bags, those would be a good alternative, not as likely to be damaging, but where you can provide that for him to hide in, play in. And if he chews on a paper bag, no big deal.
Okay.
And then
the problem is, I'm sorry, I was going to say part of the problem is he is unusually intelligent. I've grown up with lots of pets, cats, dogs, bunnies, turtles, you name it. And I've never had a pet in my whole life that is highly intelligent as Cosmo. And that's part of the problem is he's constantly outsmarting me. I think I've managed to set up sort of a process where I've got the advantage and he's not going to destroy anything. And he's so bright. He figures out a way to get what he wants. He's very resourceful. And I think maybe that's part of his boredom is because he is unusually bright for any pet that I've ever had. So I keep the TV on and I try to stimulate his brain as much as I can, but I think, I don't know, the chewing is killing me.
And I think that definitely sounds, if that's his personality, it is. It's kind of like having a kid in a class below their ability and their level. There's just nothing to do, so they may get bored and kind of start up trouble in class. He is so smart that we might have to make really fun games for him as ways to find food and treats in the house. So that might be something to really kind of think about what might work in your home situation, where you can kind of give him some little surprises. And you got to mix it up because cats will figure it out, and you got to keep it fresh all the time.
This is a lot of work. Oh, my God.
That's what everybody always says with these.
But isn't it worth it?
They are worth it.
Well, that's all we have time for today. Remember, if you need your fix, and we all need our fix, sometime during the week, you can head on over to animalradio.pet, or you can download the Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android. Okay, so there you go. Have yourself a great week. We'll catch you next week for more Animal Radio right here.
Bye-bye.
See you next week.
This is Animal Radio
Network.